And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and movie review for the brand new Anna Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, directed by George Miller himself, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. That's right, we've been waiting years for another Mad Max movie after Fury Road. Now, we all thought we were going to get a Furiosa film after the events of Mad Max Fury Road. Unfortunately, they just, we were going to get Charlize Theron playing Furiosa, which she was incredible in that film. Love that movie very, very much. I like the old ones too, but I prefer the new stuff better. So they decided that they wanted to go more, how did Furiosa become who she is before she meets Max in the desert, in the road, and, taking out pretty much all the enemies that she had accumulate throughout the years. Okay. So we have this movie, and we get to start off with seeing Furiosa as a kid getting separated from her mother by a character named Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth, and he's one crazy dude. He's like completely loco in the head. I'm talking about crazy. And he separates her from her mother, and then she ends up growing up to try to get revenge on him, and it becomes a revenge movie throughout this entire film. Now, what I'm going to tell you from the beginning of the film about the movie is that don't expect Anna Taylor-Joy in the beginning of this film. She doesn't show up until like at least the middle of the movie, which is not a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing either. So I'll save that for my negatives. So, what did I thought about this film? I absolutely love this film. I thought this movie was great. First of all, the cinematography in this movie is just as on par with with Fury Road, and I thought that stuff was incredible. The going back to the wastelands and all that stuff was just great. Seeing the characters from the other movie were in it, they're great. The guy with the mask on his face with the little plugs. He's back. We get to see his kids. That stuff was great. Seeing Chris Hemsworth play another character that's not Thor was incredible. When the trailer came out, my one worry about this film was that Chris Hemsworth was going to play Thor playing a different character. Not the case. He actually got to embrace playing a different character and making Dementus his own character. And it was just great. Seeing him ride a chariot, motorcycle chariot, that stuff was great. I thought that stuff was incredible. The little girl who plays Furiosa, I didn't know the actress's name. She was incredible, from the beginning, because you have to be with her through pretty much half the movie, and she was incredible. And now let's talk about Anna Taylor-Joy. Anna Taylor-Joy, to me, is starting to become that type of actress that we have to keep our eye on. She's really good in this film. She doesn't have that much dialogue, but her emotions, her face expressions in this film, when she does show up in the film eventually, she kicks so much butt in this movie. She's incredible in here. And I thought her Furiosa was not as good as Charlize's Furiosa, because it's very different. You have a young Furiosa meeting the veteran Furiosa, and it's very different. Very, apples and oranges kind of a situation. She was just as good as Charlene's version, and it was just incredible seeing her play this role. Like I said, she doesn't have not a lot of dialogue in here, but her face expressions, her emotions, her drive to get revenge on Chris Hemsworth's character was great. So I enjoyed a lot of that stuff. There was some stuff in here that, because I remember in the original one, Fury Road, they used more practical effects than, CG. And here they use some CG with practical effects. And I think, certain scenes, if you look carefully, they don't blend well. And you know what? It kind of drew me out a little bit, but especially if you pay attention to those kinds of details, it's like, George, you could have done better at that. But listen, George Miller is kind of like, he kind of reminds me of James Cameron. James Cameron has a very unique sense of style of what he does with his movies. Same thing here with George Miller. George Miller did an incredible job with this film. I mean, the guy literally almost gave us a Justice League movie back in the day, but that's another story. But anyway, he was incredible as a director in here, making this movie feel as good as Fury Road, and it's great. And you know what's funny? You don't need to watch Fury Road to watch this movie. Oh, sure, you could, because you're going backwards. It's fine. But if this is your first time, being experienced with the Mad Max movies, and you don't want to watch the original ones with Mel Gibson, you don't have to watch those. If you want to just watch this one and then go right into Fury Road, watch it. But I would say, if you watch this movie first and then you wanted to watch the other one, don't stay for the credit, because some of the credits, they show clips of Fury Road, which is not a bad thing, but it's just like if you want to go in blind, like literally, like, oh my god, I just saw this movie, it was great, I gotta go watch the other one. Don't stay for the credit. The little pop-ups of scenes from the other movie show up in this movie at the end, and it kind of feels like a little bit of a spoiler in a way. So if you've never seen these movies, going in blind, you can go watch this movie and then go watch Fury Road at home, and you'll be like, connecting the dots. It's perfect. You don't have to worry about, the Mad Max movies from the originals. Now, although they're great in their own, way, but, I just like the color palette of these movies way better, because, the other ones feel kind of black and white gray, dark gray kind of thing, while this one has color brights, bright colors and all that. Although I do prefer the color palette of Fury Road more than Furiosa, but still, it was a great blend. It was just fun. The practical effects were great. The action scenes were intense. I loved, there was one chase scene in here that was like, woo! I was in the edge of my seat watching that, and I saw this on one of the biggest screens I could, and it was great. I really enjoyed this film. Like I said, certain shots in here, because I pay mind to these little details of certain CG and practical effects didn't blend well, but still, other than that, if you don't pay mind to that, it's gonna be a blink of an eye. You're not gonna really notice it. But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I know right now it's not tracking well in the movie theaters, but you know what? I don't care. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was entertaining. It pretty much gave us an idea of who Furiosa was before she became a badass in the other movie, and she was just awesome. Anna Taylor-Joy's an upcoming actor who's we have to keep an eye on, because she's incredible. Chris Hemsworth is just being Chris Hemsworth, and he was great playing a different character, which is like, thank you, because I didn't want him playing Thor in this movie, just trying to be a little twisty version of it, but he played his own his own kind of character in here, and it was great. George Miller did a fantastic job with the direction of the film. The cinematography was great. The action scenes were good. So I enjoyed it. Like I said before, if you did not see the other one, you don't have to worry about it. You can watch this movie and then go watch that one, and you have a good time. If you're not a fan of these movies, don't worry about it either. You go in, if you check it out and it's not for you, don't worry about it either. You don't have to worry about it. So, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Enjoyed it, not enjoyed it, prefer Fury Road over this. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and have a good day.